G'day legends, welcome back to Roadside presented by Zwift. We're back here in the Hilton. We've just had the second stage of the men's Tour Down Under. We've had the same winner repeat yesterday, Sam Welsford, getting the job done. And it was a controversial day as well, Tommy. But the real controversy is you were out riding today and you should have seen him, everyone. He's on the electrolytes. He's got the electrolyte bottle. You must have had a big one.
Yeah, had a huge one. I saw the day. There was a few journos, actually, who I think everyone sort of had the same idea. They put out to see who's getting a media car the next day. And I actually got a message this morning from shout out Matt Deneath, Escape Cycling. He's like, hey, mate, just checking you're not coming in the car. And I'm like, no, mate, absolutely not.
No one's going to Nunda, eh?
No, unfortunately not. I'll be out there working the next couple of days. But look, I think even maybe the ruler, Rachel Jari, I think she might have taken a day as well.
Yep.
Because we all just knew what was going to happen because we're experts in the field, Jethro. And we made predictions about today's stage. And I made a prediction last night about today's stage and not far from it, mate.
Well, how was your ride, by the way?
Yeah, it was good, mate.
Where'd
it was
you go?
beautiful. Look, went up Green Hill, then across to Ashton.
Yeah, Ashton, yeah.
Yeah. And then out the back sort of to the gorge. And
Did you go down gorge?
Yeah, we did. We came down gorge. We
Nice.
went actually... the other way on gorge, then came back down, I think, on northeast.
Yeah.
And then we went through Corkscrew. I was riding with the old boy, shout out Don, and on the climbs, hey, he was not loving it. And Corkscrew right at the end, he was absolutely creeping up a storm. But the riding was beautiful. Slight cooler change here today, so we made the most of it. How was another day in the village, mate?
Yeah, it was good, actually. Yeah, not too bad. There's lots of people there, and we finally got a few giveaways. Like I said, we're supposed to have giveaways every day, but they stuffed up. But anyway, I got handed a set of 100%, and I had to give those away. So I was like, what can I do? What question should I ask all these people? It was probably about 300 people. So I asked them a
300?
question. Yeah, mate, there'll be 1,000 in there by Saturday. It's crazy. Yeah, it pops off in that Hahn village. But this was the question I asked. I'll see if you got it right. So Cavendish, he's got 35 Tour wins, obviously, and he's the big guest of Tour Down Under, $1 million pay packet.
Big sauce.
How many Giro d'Italia stage wins does he have?
I really was hoping you were going to ask how many Tour Down Under stage wins he had.
0?
Yes, correct. How many stage wins at the Giro? Is it also? No, it can't be 0.
It's definitely not 0.
Yeah, it's not 0. Give me an over-under.
Well, the person who's got the most stage wins at the Giro is Chippo.
Yeah, but give me an over-under. I'll give you an over-under.
Well, you say a number and I'll say higher or lower.
5.
Higher.
10.
Higher.
More than 10. Look, 14.
Higher.
20.
17.
Ooh.
That's decent. And 3 Vuelta stage wins. So I think it's like 52, 53 total Grand Tour stage wins. And that just shows how good he is. So I did the same game. I usually go higher, lower. And
you're running around the studio like...
People love it. So some old lady got it. So shout out to her. I don't think she was a cyclist, but she got the answer right. So well done to her. Now, remember, you can watch this on YouTube, 4K video. Subscribe on there. We put some other stuff up all the time. We've got our live podcast, Tom, Saturday, 23rd, 3:30 to 4:30 inside the village.
Can you send me a reminder for that?
Yeah, I will. Right next to the FE Sports area. So
wonderful.
Very, very perfect there. And we're giving away a set of Pirelli TLR P0 race tyres.
They're so good.
You need to send in, they are elite. You need to send in a question to us via the email or via our socials at thepressroompodcast on Insta, or send us a reason why you should get them. And I've already had people send in Strava KOMs for the descent on Green Hill Road. And that's their claim for the tyres. It sounds like they've already got Pirellis on if they went that bloody fast.
That is loose. That is very... look, we can't promote the downhill com segments too much because we're bordering on a little bit of looseness there.
Do you remember when the Giro brought in that bloody... So people might not remember, this is for Nuffies only. It wasn't long ago, maybe 2017, the Giro added another jersey to the race. So you had the mountains.
4th jersey.
Yeah, you had the mountains, the sprints, you had, of course, the Maglia Rosa and the white. And they actually back then used to have a most intermediate sprints as well. So intermediate sprints 1, there was a jersey for that. It was black and white. It was atrocious. But they added a descent jersey. So fastest descender, and I think it was over every KOM, the other side. and the riders kicked up a big stink. Nibali was like, what are you doing? And then they removed it before the race started.
RCS, who own the race, they never miss an opportunity to make a buck, don't they, mate? They would have been flogging that jersey out. So good on them. But yeah, they removed that. And we are not going to be going anywhere near that sort of stuff. But it is a worthy submission. And I want to see some more segments.
Yeah. Send us your time. Maybe if you sent your Strava time in for Norton's, probably last, you would probably win because you'd need the speed, Tom.
I had a solid day out today. And I tell you what, mate, I'm coming in off no form. None whatsoever. 0 kilometres. I am going to absolutely monster your time up Norton's by myself. And I know for a fact you did that on the back of a group. You probably jumped in. There was a 20-rider pillow, big taily, and you were just grovelling on the last wheel. But I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to big ring that chain.
For the boxing fans out there, Tyson Fury is you, and I'm Joshua Anderson. Joshua, the great man, JL. So you're just ducking, mate. Bit of ducking going on. Anthony Joshua, how can you forget him? Funny enough, Anthony Joshua, one of the great heavyweight boxers, is managed by 258 Protege Management, who look after Neem. They used to look after Sarah, Finfisher Black, those sorts of names. So really interesting link. But anyway, that's a nice tangent. It's time to get into our Stage 2 recap. This is Roadside, presented by Zwift.
Well, it was the second stage, Health Partners Tanunda to Tanunda. Absolute doozy of a stage, 128 kilometres. They went around the same circuit 3 times.
Fast too, 15 minutes faster than the quickest expected time.
Yep, I like that. I really do like that. As a result of it, as a result of the crash yesterday, Dylan van Baarle, he did not start from Visma Lease by broken collarbone. Geez, he's had a bad run the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But enough of the crashes. It was our boy, Sam Welsford, my pick from yesterday. He got the chocolates. Red Bull, Bora, Hansgrohe, they rolled on with it. And it was Intermarché, actually, with Arnie Marit, who was in second, and Brian Cockard, who was in third.
That's a decent result.
It is. It's not bad. But your man in third from Little Trek, Tim Ton Tuttenberg. And in fifth place, rounding out the top 5, Team Picnic Post NL, Tobias Lund Anderson. It was a sprint.
Yeah, you called it. You got Welsford in there, and I was watching intently on the stage. And Red Bull, to their credit, I mean, this is what happens when you bring a full team dedicated to one rider.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, say bar Finfisher Black, but you dedicate your whole team to them. He got dropped over the top, and the boys worked tirelessly to bring him back. And the funny thing was, he got back on at 15 Ks to go, but they crested the climb with about, say, 20 Ks to go. That 5 Ks in between, they were about 1 kilometre off the back of the bunch the entire time.
They were close, weren't they?
In the echelon. I think Ollie Bledden was in there as well. He was helping out. So the
of
Red
course,
Bull,
great mates with Sam Welsford.
Yeah, well, 2 Olympic Team Pursuit gold medalist teammates. So Red Bull, they did exactly what they were probably expecting. And Sam, he showed his form. He's so fit right now.
He has showed the difference between Welsford, who was one eye on Paris last year, and now he's 100% committed to the road.
Unshackled.
Yeah, I think he could have done this last year as well, these sort of results, if there wasn't Paris. He just was basically putting it on the back burner for a year.
Yep.
And to be honest, he did get caught up with a crash inside the first kilometre, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he had a bit of bark off.
He did.
So to get it done after that, it just shows poise, class, but also just the belief that we heard yesterday after the finish line, Ryan Mullen speaking to Rouleur, and he just described him as a Rottweiler, Welsford.
Yeah.
And he's just so hungry. You know, he's such a cool, calm, collected guy, but as soon as there's a victory or a potential victory on offer, he just hits the switch and he gets all the boys and they just go all in, which was great to see.
In the interview after the race, right on the line with Keno, they asked him about that, and Sam said that once they were dropped and they had everyone there bar Finn Fisher, he said, look, I'm good, just get me back on and I'm good to go. Get me back on, I'm good to go. So the boys would have heard that. Mullen was a big driver there with all the crew there, and they got back on. And I tell you what, once they got on, they needed a breather to rest because there were attacks kicking off the front over the climb. Jayco and Ineos were interested. They tried to make it hard, but obviously they weren't firing off attacks. It was like all in one line, and Sam was at the back for a long time, the last or second last wheel, and they only really started firing attacks off once they got over the top.
Yep.
People were hitting out as it sort of stopped, and it was the likes of Ida Schelling tried a few times. Kwiatkowski, who's in good form, had a crack. Bettiol, Navarrez put in a huge one.
He did, didn't he?
A huge one.
Big haymaker.
Even Plapp threw an attack down, and Maro Schmidt. So the two Jayco leaders were having a go, and then once they got further down the hill, because the rest was downhill, about 10 k's in, they were all resigned to this being a sprint.
Yeah, they were, because Bora immediately, as they sort of, they got Sam up there, they took a moment, and then bang, the onus fell to them straight away, didn't it? And they just controlled the front. They sort of bullied the peloton a little bit. They showed their strength because they have it.
They picked their moment. It was a very hectic last 5 kilometres, and people were everywhere. And it actually took a while for Bora to find the front, and they did it around 3. I think they really took control at 2 k's to go when they went through a roundabout, and they came through just as the roundabout opened up. It was key they did their recon, and once they came through the roundabout, they came through first wheel. You could tell Sam was in form because he actually lost the wheel through the roundabout of 3 or 4 lengths, and he got back on straight away. They're going 65k an hour, 2 k's left in the stage. It had been frantic, and he got on that wheel straight away. You could tell that's a sprinter who's in great form.
Is there a mistake that's been made? So, Bora, they didn't get any help all day. Visma Spike, they put one rider up. Now, in my opinion, they put one rider up. Good, fair play. Brennan was very good yesterday. I think that's deserved, and there's a bit of a truce potentially between them over the climb.
Yeah, it was one rider at probably when the chase was pretty much done.
Yeah, just in the good books.
Yeah,
anyway,
good books.
Is there a bit of a mistake by some of the other teams, the animators? Even guys like from XDS Astana with Ida Schelling, Henok Mulderban. These guys should be attacking considerably earlier. Yes, they got Aaron Gate for the finish, but Gatey's got to get pretty lucky to sort of roll the dice. He's there for points, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think what certain teams should have been a little bit more aggressive earlier on.
Yeah, it was clear that people were...
There was opportunity.
Yeah, there was heaps of people in form, like those names I mentioned before, but the pace, it was like they were setting the pace, like Ineos and Jayco were setting the pace on the climb as if they had a sprinter they were trying to protect. That was kind of how they were riding. It was really weird.
They do have Ben Swift, who rolled in 5th yesterday. He's got a good turn of pace.
He's finished 18th in the Giro 1 year in GC.
Yep.
So Ben Swift, he can climb back in the day. But
can.
They definitely, I think it wasn't hard enough, that climb, and it was too far from the finish afterwards. And downhill. They were already 600 metres from the top of the climb, and Sam was still on. He only really got dropped with about 200 to go, and the attacks that came afterwards is what distanced him and the team.
And fair play to them. It's not just Sam who's got the climbing capacity at the moment to get over that. Mullins,
Van Poppel,
Poppel. They were all there. They're on $1 million. They all looked $1 million rather, and wasn't Pithy impressive. The new signing for Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, has come off from Groupama FDJ. Big season. He won Cadell's and he really stepped up at the classics. He showed his specialty that he's sort of bringing to that lead out now, isn't he? He's just become a bit of a plumber. He's just plugging holes, isn't he?
He's plugging holes, but he's also a plumber who has an AK-47 because he was a P3 in that lead out, and he and Van Poppel and Welsford, they bullied their way to the front. There was bumps going everywhere. Welsford bumped off Bauhaus trying to get on the wheel. It was a proper... And in the village, everyone was like, whoa! Like when Welsford gave a huge hip and shoulder, the shredded jersey hip and shoulder, get off my wheel. And then Pithy was doing it the same. Van Poppel had elbows out, and nobody... It was like they got touched. And it was like you're in C grade, and there's an A grader in there. You touch bars, and they just like go to the left-hand side of the road. They were nervous. They didn't want to go near them. They bullied it, and I was so impressed after all of that Sam stepped off the wheel of Van Poppel, who was going about 4,000 kilometres an hour, and he is fit. But that's not all, Tommy. There was some controversy.
There was a little bit, wasn't it? And every now and then we do a bit of prep work before these shows, very, very rarely. And when we're making a quick little list of things, we go, yep. Yeah. And this we kind of went, oh, hold up here.
Mm-hmm. There's big controversy because Danny Van Poppel got relegated to last place for the stage. I think he would have finished 7th or 8th. He just got past at the end. When he pulled off, he got relegated for a DV Natives line. Now, when he pulled off, he swung off the lead out. Sam stepped off. He's looked behind. He did the Lance Armstrong the look to see who was in the wheel of Sam, who's obviously going to launch their sprint. Saw that Tobias Lund Anderson, who's an actual psychopath himself in sprints, had kicked. He looked behind, swerved to his right, and he fully chopped up Lund, who, when he kicked his first 3 pedal strokes before Van Poppel came into him, he had the same amount of speed that Welsford did. Everyone else is going backwards. But Lund, he had some speed. It would have been interesting.
Yeah, he did. It was a very questionable manoeuvre, and Pithy did the same.
Pithy did the same. It was just a bit more subtle from P3. And the question is, Tom, and I reckon this should be applied because then it'll be taken seriously by the lead-out riders of the teams. If your lead-out rider gets yellow carded for being dangerous in the sprint, well, then I think you lose the victory. Because then why will, how could they take it seriously?
You can't have the lead-out riders giving slingshots to, opposition sprinters to get out of the way. It's a case of my bars are ahead of yours and I'm accelerating. I'm done. They were trying to get out of the way. They were on the boards. I thought it was very surprising. And this is the advantage of when you are out in front, that if you are out in front, your lead-out man can choose, or generally they know from the sprinter, to go left or right. This instance, Van Poppel went right to the boards, didn't he?
He went first,
right,
then moved.
Yep. So the commissaires have made the right call.
They made the right call, 100%.
But Van Poppel's pulled off, and he has sort of drifted through that. But I thought it was surprising to see those guys from behind sprinting. They're trying to go closer to the boards.
Well, I think they're just trying to get on Sam's wheel.
They were.
And, the question is should Welsford be penalised? Because if Van Poppel gets relegated from 7th to last, who cares? I mean, who actually cares about that from Bora?
He's done his job. No one cares.
They've got the win.
They'll pay the frank fine. They don't care.
And Pithy as well. Pithy pretty much did the same thing, really. He should have also been yellow carded. If they don't apply that rule, that your team gets penalised by that, forget the Swiss francs. Who gives a fuck about Swiss francs? Nobody will ever take it seriously.
I think you shouldn't be DQ'd as the sprinter. I think there should be a certain amount of warnings or something like that that can build up.
I think the card system. Yeah. If they give the card system a go, Van Poppel gets a yellow card. Maybe if he gets a red, then that impacts Sam, because Lund really looked like he impacted a proper sprint fight. And if Lund, I think, when you're in the lead out, we talked about them. They really bullied everyone else. They're bumping bars, they're bumping shoulders to move teams out of the way.
Sprint, yeah.
I love that. In the lead out, you're going forward. Yeah. If you can do it, do it. But when you're going backwards, like Van Poppel was, job done, don't interfere. It's poor form.
Well, this is sort of what happened with the Durbridge crash the other day.
Yeah, right.
So Durbo, it was literally Durbo going backwards.
Yep.
And there was a bit of a touch of bars, touch of wheels.
Yep.
And it was literally because people were just trying to navigate those longer, the guys who were doing the job before the final two, the position, they were trying to get out of the way. And, Dylan Van Baal, that's what brought him down and broke his collarbone. So
apparently a few riders actually put that stage forward to their riders' union because it was dangerous, and I think it was thrown out. It was actually a pretty dangerous finish stage.
It was hectic. It was
especially
very spicy. Everyone who came across the line had a quick chat with Gatey, and he just went, mate, that was hectic. For these guys to come in, they're used to it. They're used to it to be hectic. They're used to it to be very spicy.
Yeah.
With everyone sort of fighting hard for position, but it was truly frenzied.
Did you hear about Miles Scotson?
Yeah, concussion, is it?
Well, I think he's broken 3 ribs in that criterium crash. How stinking is that? You're doing some shit criterium for them. They don't give a stuff about this criterium. There's no points. They're just doing it for the crowds, and of course it's part of the race. But the riders get nothing from it.
Yeah, they really don't.
And break 3 ribs and miss your home race, and you shit start to the season. Ribs take forever to heal as well. So, and it was his birthday.
Yeah, it was. I remember saying that.
Stinker. He's getting some cake. He probably can't even chew because
I thought it would have been concussion, because I remember when he got up, we were there, and he just looked so dazed.
He did look dazed. Yeah, we were right next to that when it happened. In fact, I was bemoaning the lady on the fence being there because I wanted to be there instead, but I'm glad I wasn't, because I would have been cleaned up.
You give Miles a kiss.
Yeah, Scotson's head would have cleaned me up. So let's see what happens in the sprints in the following stages to come. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But for now, we've got the jerseys that everyone's in. We've got Zwift Young Riders jersey is Brennan. He looks very talented. Browning stoked his claim for the King of the Mountain. Welsford's in the sprint jersey, and Sam's got 2 days in the Oka, better than last year's one day.
It is, yep.
And, we've got our preview for Stage 3 right after this. This is Roadside, presented by Zwift. So FE Sports, we love FE Sports, Tommy. I'm actually doing a little social media piece with them and some of their other sponsored athletes, such as Brenton Jones, Tasman Nan Curvers, tomorrow in the Village.
Well, you give me a little bit of stick for doing my my little side gigs back home, and here you are in Adelaide, and you're sort of the prince of the cash grabs over here.
There's a reason why we get good sponsors here. You got to do those little things, bits and pieces, like the Zwift party last night. That was definitely earned my key there. But, we love FE Sports 100%. So I actually lost my glasses at Nationals. Yeah, I lost one of my favourite pairs of glasses, casuals, at Nationals doing the club criterion presentation. So that's some trade-off. And and so I'm going to have to go see the boys at FE Sports and hook myself up with a pair of casuals. And
I actually got to go down there tonight as well and go see Langy. I need a heart rate monitor. Blew apart today.
You need the Wahoo tracker, mate. It's the
I
new
know.
one. And it charges via USB-C. No more stupid coin cell batteries. The Wahoo tracker and FE Sports product is USB-C. So well done to them. But anyway, our stage tomorrow, we've got Norwood to Uradla. This is a great one because Norwood's just outside the city. It's the cafe district of Adelaide. It's such a good start to go view.
Yeah, this is one of the best starts. Even better, if you're riding out to this one and you see all the riders getting ready or whatever like this, and also to mention this is sort of the queen jewel of maybe the week of racing. Wollonga obviously is right there, but this is a doozy.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool. You can ride on ahead and go see him ride up Lofty.
Yeah.
Norton rather.
Norton, yeah.
So don't wait for the gun to drop. Get out of Norwood. Get up the climb. And, cheer him on from there. It's a wonderful stage, this stage. Norwood to Uradla, 147 kilometres. Jet, what are you expecting from tomorrow's stage?
Well, I think the fight to get in the breakaway is going to be pretty juicy because the first 18 Ks, it's 800 metres elevation. So that's just perfect for people wanting to get in the break, particularly climbers who might not like, jumping off the front when it's flat at the start. So hopefully we see a nice battle there. The climb that they go up, what's it called? It's called Baker's Hill or something. Let me just have a look here. It's called Knott's Hill, Baker's Hill. I was thinking of the knot rolls you get from the bakery. That's 2.6 Ks at 8%, like today's climb, but it crests 7K from the finish. That's fireworks, mate.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it features prominently in the finale. You can actually park up there and you'll see the riders come through 3 times. So the proximity to the city for this stage is sensational. It is the lead up before this climb, though, that has me interested. And I rode through here again today. I'm very familiar with it. It's through the basket range. The climbs through there is super narrow, twisty, winding. You've got to be in. It's going to be a dogfight for position when push comes to shove. Because I dare say, we're going to see a breakaway get off the front tomorrow. If you are in that breakaway, say like a Jayco, have someone like a Harper in that breakaway, wonderful. They can sit off.
Nice move, yeah.
That would be so advantageous, but it is, I think, we're going to see a bit of a neutral breakaway. And we're going to see the big guns come out to play. The riders, the teams who are here to win the overall will not be afraid. They'll all know it as well. Yeah. They'll all send riders up to start keeping the break in check. Because this is getting brought back tomorrow, and we are going to see a scintillating finale.
That's why that fight for the breakaway is going to be so good, because this is a stage that all the GC teams have put a line under. And most importantly, Luke Plapp, stage 3.
He loves it.
This is the one he wants to win. This is the one he's really highlighted. Of all the stage, this is it. So expect the number 11 bib. Expect Jayco. I think they're going to be very active, and Plapp's going to be one to watch. And I think we saw who's in form in these sort of climber types today on today's stage, or yesterday's if you're listening. Bettiol, Navarez were up there, up and about. Vine was even having to go. We didn't see Williams. He kept his powder dry, but he's obviously going very well. I think Plapp said he's going very well on G's podcast this morning. And I think those names are going to be sniffing at the end because they all know how important it is for the stage. So it's going to be a bloody cracker.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Tune in, come down to Norwood. I might be patrolling around. I don't know what I'm actually going to do tomorrow. I've got to figure out a plan. I'll figure it out while I'm having a couple over the wood tonight.
All right, we've got a Zwift moment of the day right after this. All right, Tommy, my Zwift moment of the day. I have to say, it's the lead-out bullying by Red Bull Bora. I just love, they've got these big, absolute dogs in their team. Mullen is one of the most feared fighters in the lead-out going around. Van Poppel is an absolute unit. He's just a bag full of coat hangers, isn't he? He's just a big, wide unit. And then Pithy's like a greyhound that's being blooded freshly at the Cannington Dogs, mate, which you shouldn't do greyhound betting. It's very bad, but that's what he's like. He's a hectic unit. Imagine you've got 4 of these dudes and well said, they're all pinging off, and you have got to decide whether to hold your wheel or bump on or shoulder. You go, nah. Sorry, these guys just move out of the way. So I really like seeing a team just deliver like that.
Yeah, it's special. It's really special when you just see the whole unit commit to the one rider bar, their climber, Finn Fisher Black.
And getting the job done.
Yeah, and I really also quite liked Finn Fisher. He wasn't active. He was probably patrolling and he was trying to sort of just get in the way a little bit. He covered a little bit. So he knew what was at play.
And he shook his head, said he wouldn't work with anyone and tried to chip off the front. There's a couple shake of the head. So
good to see. Good. I respect that immensely.
Yours, Tommy?
Mate, mine, of course. So there's, as a part of every race, basically, there's always VIP cars that get to, they're generally always like sponsors. They're just Gary's or whatever who, they get a day in the car or whatever.
Or ex-professionals.
And in this case, yes, it was. And it was your man, Mark Cavendish, who was in one of the cars.
Yeah, my brother.
He was, and he was joined by the gorilla, Greipel.
Greipel in the back seat.
Driving the car, the man who works the car, Graham Brown.
Oh.
From the West. And there was a little bit of footage floating around. This is my Zwift moment of the day. The big three. Because Brownie, he has been around for ages, and Cav. Do you reckon the rubber on that tyre on that car needs changing today? I reckon Brownie would not have let up one little bit around the corners.
Greipel, I don't know. They have to be careful. Greipel's got the most stage wind of the TDU, so they have to really just nurse him around. Can't be throwing around the big horse, the cyclocross.
No, there would have been some absolute dribble spoken in that car. Oh, to be a fly on the wall.
In the Hyundais, mate, they got plenty of zip.
They certainly do. No, that's my Zwift moment of the day, mate.
That's a good one. 3 sprinters in the one vehicle. We absolutely love it. What are we up to tomorrow, Tommy? I'm going to be in the village again, doing the FE stuff in the morning. I'll be in the village just doing a bit of commentary.
Who have you lined up?
During the ad break. FE have lined them up. I think we've got Tasman and Curvis. We've got Brenton Jones, a couple of others. I actually don't know who they are. I've got to look them up. And then we've got the Rattle Gravel Pro panel after the coverage in the village. So plenty of stars there doing a little fun games. It's actually quite good. So if people are in Adelaide, 4 o'clock.
Does that mean we're recording late tomorrow?
We will be recording after that.
Oh.
Yes. And then we got dinner.
Do we?
Thursday.
Oh, we do too.
We do. We got dinner.
With the best photographer from the West. One of the best, Patrick.
Yeah.
Look, me tomorrow, mate, I've got to figure it out. Put a plan together over the wood tonight and then probably roll into one of the media cars if I do.
Any riding? You cooked from today, Mr. Electrolytes?
No, I'm not cooked, mate. I just like my recovery. I just know how to manage my recovery.
Who recovers after 80 Ks?
Oh, look, anyway.
Everyone does, actually.
Everyone does. Anyway, I do my best work off the bike at the moment, so let's get stuck in.
Okay, and finally, you got to pick your winner for tomorrow. Navarrez and Platt go to the line for me, and unfortunately, I don't want to see it, but Navarrez, no one beats him in a sprint over the top of a climb. I think Navarrez gets the job done over Platt.
Yeah, you've given a bit of extra context there. Look, I reckon Maro Schmidt. I reckn I wouldn't be surprised. Cool, yeah, look, I think he is just going to be the sort of the slower mover out of the Jayco duo or trio if you throw Harper in there. And I dare say if he comes to the line with a handful of others, he is one of the riders to watch out for. And Plapp, look, he's a good man and everything, but if it comes to it, he will ride for Maro if it needs to be. So if it does come back that way, he is a team man, and
it'll be a good day for Jayco. It'll be a good day for UAE, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of Roadside. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you then.